Wonderful. The topic is, am I triggered because of what's actually going on, or is it my trauma? Tell me where you're coming in from. Where are you joining in from in the world? I haven't met with you all in so long on live. I'm going to be walking out here with little Miss Truly. See, can you see? Yeah. She loves, well, we love to go on walks together through the woods. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to sip my coffee while we do that. So you'll probably hear her. Hello from Hawaii. Oh, hey, Grace. Where's everybody else joining in from? I'd love to know. I'm so glad you all are here. My energy is also a bit low today, kind of that new moon bleed energy. So I'm just going to flow with that. Okay. I am so excited to talk about this, you all, because I get asked about it all the time, and it's something that, well, I work mostly with women, so I can definitely say women get really tangled up in shame about and really overly analytical about, you know, like the question is, I know, sweetie, here we go. The question is, I'm triggered. Is that because something is really going on here in a situation I need to pay attention to, or is it just my trauma? Can anybody relate to that? Can you tell me if you can relate? And please join in to ask questions. Is it something you've related to? Raise your hand, let me know. Or has it been kind of like that, but a little different for you? Yep. Head about it. Hey, got to figure this out. Like, okay, am I back? Okay. I think I lost connection there for a second. Can you all hear me and see me? Hello. I just want to make sure you all can hear me and see me. I need to stay within range of the house. Hello, hello. I'm just making sure I'm connected before I continue. Can you all hear me and see me? Yep, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Almost kind of like, do I have the right to react? You know, if it's my trauma, do I have the right to react here? Okay, so here's my answer. Is this real, or is it my trauma that I'm reacting to? Does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? I'd love to hear, and I'm trying to say this in a way, this is not, I feel like this question comes out so condescending, and that's so not the way I mean it, but I actually would love to hear your feedback on why you felt like you've needed to know the difference. Or what has your partner told you that you needed to, why you needed to know the difference, you know? Like, can you share with me why you felt like you needed to know the difference? What have you learned maybe? Or like, what have you been told of like why you need to know? And here's why I say that, is because the issue, a big part of this issue is self-trust. Right? Like, I'm not trusting myself in the moment. I don't know really what's going on. So we don't learn to trust ourselves through just more and more gaslighting of ourselves. Because when I'm triggered, I have doubt about myself. Yeah. So here's what I want to put out here to you. If you feel triggered, your nervous system's just regulated. That's what that means. Why not just do the thing to help yourself regulate? And after you make yourself safe enough and you ask people around you to check after that from yourself. But only through safety can we get there. Only through safety can we get that kind of feedback. Reading some comments now. I'm so glad I stumbled onto this live. My relationship has been so triggered. Yeah, and please do let me know what questions you have. I've got all the time in the world. We can stay on here because I really want to make sure that this lands and that you can digest this. Do you hear my cat? Okay, so when your nervous system gets dysregulated, if it's from your trauma, it could be what's right in front of you. It could be from your past. Doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. If the people around you care for you, they're going to want to help you regulate yourself. You get to care for yourself enough to regulate yourself, no matter where it's coming from. And again, once you reach a level of safety in your body, you will be able to discern more easily. And that may take time, but like, let me tell you a story. This is years ago. This is probably 7-ish years ago. Garrett and I were at the Y. We were at the pool. It was summer. And I do not remember what happened, but something happened. He must have said something. And I got totally just washed over in a frozen response. Frozen, probably mixed with some fight or flight. I was just so triggered. I was so angry at him. I was so hurt. And I just needed him to get away from me. I didn't take the time to discern, like, well, what is it? You know, because the more time you're taking to analyze it, the more disconnected you're staying from your body. In that moment, you just need to regulate. Do you hear that? She's so funny. So in that moment, you just need regulation. Your body needs safety. So at the pool, I asked him to leave. He did, because he's amazing. He's like, okay. I mean, he was upset for sure, but he honored. He's like, okay. We came in separate cars, and okay, I'll leave. And once I got what I needed, and I got some separation, I drove home on my own. I felt safe and supported because I'd asked for what I need. He gave it to me. And then we came back and reconnected and came together, and I did realize, oh my gosh, that wasn't as much about you as it was about my shit with my dad. Like, that's what I realized. But it wasn't until I got to a level of safety, and the person who was with me loved me well. This makes sense? And then afterward, I was able to tell. Even if you can't get to that clarity, that is okay. The thing that matters is nervous system regulation. And you co-creating something in your relationships where you meet each other's needs without condition. Why did he need to know? That would have felt so unloving, like, well, isn't this really about your dad? Like, I don't know, dude. In the moment, I just know I need you to get away from me. Your nervous system is brilliant. And you're going to become more regulated the more you meet your nervous system where it's at, and you give yourself a break. You let yourself walk away. You let yourself need a boundary and have a boundary. The more you meet your nervous system where it's at, the more regulated you are going to become. And probably in the long run, the more you might be able to discern and take a step back in the moment. Okay, do let me know how this is landing. I'm going to go back and scroll and read some comments here. Hello, thank you so much for joining. Okay. Okay, perfect. Any questions at all? Comments, how's this landing? I'm just going to pause here for any comments or questions, or what's your experience? I hear about so many fights and couples. This kind of demand to know. Like, we need to make sure you're not reacting to something else. Like, another thing is, you're not going to not bring your shit into a relationship. That's just not going to happen. You are always going to bring your stuff into a relationship. You're going to bring your stuff from your past. Relationships are designed for you to do that. Because relationships are designed to help you heal those wounds. You know, if you create something safe and conscious, not perfect, but conscious with the other person, it's designed to help you move through those wounds. So you are going to get triggered. Your partner is going to get triggered. Or partners, or whatever kind of relationship you have, you can create safety in any number of kind of relationships. You are always going to bring your baggage. So just knowing that, like, and in the moment, you're not always going to know what I'm reacting to. I just know I'm reacting, and I know I have this need right now. If there's love there, why would I not meet that for you? Good. So glad it's helpful. Okay, going back to look at questions. Okay, so the question here is, what if they don't want to help to regulate? My boyfriend's told me he has his own problems. Supporting me is not wanted because he sees my distress as bad vibes and disease he has to get away from. My question would be, how is that for you? How is that for you that he doesn't want to help you regulate? Is that okay with you? If you were my client, I'd go further with you in that. And we'd really unpack that. Well, how is that for you? I personally would not want that. That would not feel supportive to me. There's this very bypassy culture out there that says trauma and distress is just bad vibes. Well, yeah, trauma, I mean, technically, sure, but that's all of us. Right? Like, we are light and dark. We're all of it. And I'm not trying to tell you what kind of relationship you should have. There's no rules about that in relationships. It's what's right for you. Like, I want to help my clients get to know their own bodies. And like, well, what's your non-negotiable? Is it okay for you? That would not be okay for me. I want somebody who's going to join me in the regulation. Because then the next day they're going to get dysregulated. Dysregulation at this time and space in humanity, that's just a fact of life. We have nervous systems. And we go into fight, flight, freeze, and that's not unhealthy. That's actually very healthy. That doesn't, and we could go, this could be a longer conversation, but if you go into fight, flight, freeze, that doesn't necessarily mean you're dysregulated. That could mean that some real shit is happening and you need to fight. Okay? If you haven't already, I'd love to invite you to sign up for my free workshop this coming Sunday, where we talk exactly about that, the fight response. Mostly that's what we talk about. Well, we talk about the whole nervous system and how to be in relationship without losing yourself. Right, is the title. That's in the link in my bio. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to sign up if you feel led to do that. But your fight, flight, freeze, it's there to help you. And whether it's because something is really happening in front of you that you need to fight, flight, or freeze from, or whether you're reacting to something in your past, meet your nervous system where it's at anyway. That's love. That feels loving to me. How's this pinging you? Trauma versus trauma. Yeah, for sure. Oh, no apologies. Oh, gosh. Yeah. So you answered and you said, I felt abandoned. Sure. Well, that's information, is it not? I don't want to have a pattern of feeling abandoned by my partner. Stacy! Okay, so you say, I understand, but make sure I read this right. I understand, but do I have the right to put a part of my emotional distress on his shoulders? I feel like it has to be my responsibility. I love this conversation. This comes up with my clients all the time. So right there, that tells me that there could be a blueprint inside that was imprinted probably long ago. You know, we get our original blueprints, our relationship blueprints from our caregivers, right? So there's some kind of blueprint that says if I just am, like if I just be and have all my emotions, that I'm putting something on you. Like, can't we untangle that a bit? Like, doesn't that seem not quite? That gives me a clue that there may be some enmeshment in your system that you've come from. that if I just feel that I'm putting it on you, he has the responsibility on if he takes that on. There's a big difference. I'm gonna pet my kitty because she's just so, talk about disarray. It's like, mom, 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 mom. We are very attached. And then she goes and lays down. But what I was saying is that there's a big difference between taking something on and just being there to support somebody. He doesn't have to take it on. And you may need to, if you're not sure the difference, you may need to work through that with a professional or him or you and him to understand the difference in your body of what that means. But we're attachment creatures. We're not designed to be totally separate. We are designed to help each other through things. This idea of separateness is also bypassing. This is why it gets so fine. Like, right, we could talk about this for hours and hours. And when I work with my clients and when I do the work myself, like, there's a lot to untangle here because there is a healthy amount of separateness. But kind of the bypassy culture, you especially see it in some spiritual realms out there on Instagram. There's just too much a notion of separateness. Your shit's your shit and I shouldn't have anything to do with it. And that negates the need for attachment in relationships. We're designed to support each other. We co-regulation. Do you know that term? That's a biological term for what we need to do as humans. We need to co-regulate. So my partner, Garrett, he is my partner in co-regulation. Now, is he responsible for me? No, I'm responsible for me. But will I go in our room and cry with him when something's up with me and I'll ask him to just join me in that? Yes. I'm not asking him to fix me. I'm not asking him to take on all my problems. I'm asking him to be with me. And we co-regulate with each other. So when we keep our partners at arm's length and say, that's completely your shit, I'm cutting off any space for co-regulating. How's this landing? Anybody else? Anybody else? Your thoughts, your questions. How is this landing for you? Yes, you're so welcome. It's a lot to sit with. It gets heavy. This is a big topic. Yeah, it's a big one for sure. Any other questions before I hop off? That was really my main message right there. Again, if you haven't already, I'd love to invite you to come to our free journey on Sunday. The recording will be available after. It's at 12 noon Central Time. How to be in relationship without losing yourself with somatic science and the lioness archetype. Because the lioness archetype really, really helps us to own our space, own our growl, own that nervous system response. So, so good. Good. Glad it's landing. Yeah, this stuff gets dense, but my hope is that it can help and be of some support today, because like I said, this is one of the top questions that I get, and particularly for women, it just keeps us tangled up in our heads and keeps us disembodied. So unless there's other questions, I'll get off here in a second. Or comments, or how did this land for you? How is this for you? But before I do that, I'll just go back around to my main message, is that, remember, why does it matter? Am I triggered because of something actually happening in front of me? And the nervous system's intelligent. You may not be able to see it, but it's called neuroception, right? That's different than perception. Your nervous system may detect something that you can't even know cognitively. So it's like, but either way, is it because of something that's happening right in front of me? Is it relevant? Or is it my trauma? My answer is, why does it matter? Just meet your nervous system where it's at. That's going to build safety in your body. If you need to run, run. If you need to set a boundary or growl, you growl. If you need to disconnect for a while and freeze, just disconnect for a while. In my bio, if you go to my profile, the link to the class is at the very top. And it's called How to Be in a Relationship Without Losing Yourself with Somatic Science and the Lioness Archetype. So good. The recording's available right after the class. But if you can come live, that would be amazing. So you can ask me any questions that you want. Okay, beautiful. This recording will be made available as well here in just a little while, so you can watch the replay if you want. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining. I used to go live with you all every week a couple of years ago. I've stopped doing that for different reasons, but my plan is to come back and do a lot more regular lives with you, because I really would love to get to know all of you. And is that Christina? Yes, it is. Hello, my babe. Yes, exactly, Grace. Why does it matter? Give your nervous system what it needs. That's it. And the more you do that, the more safety and trust you're building in your body, and the more it will help you in the long run anyway. Exactly. So, but I always want to get to know you all, so feel free to drop a DM, drop a note, and a post. What do you want to hear more about? Where are you from? I love getting to know you all. I really appreciate you all spending your time with me and that I can support you. It's a big deal. This is such sacred work. So it means a ton that you trust me enough to even hear what I have to say. So, okay. So much love. Take care of your nervous system in whatever way that you need to today. I'm going to go do the same because, like I said, my energy today is... So I'm going to go make sure I'm all good for Sunday. So much love. Thank you for being here, seriously, and I hope to see you all really soon. Thank you. Bye for now.